So as we all know, in 2025, the South Node is in Virgo, which even I have been making videos saying how this is about doing less, surrendering, trusting, and not working so hard. But the question is, how do we actually stop working so hard? And is that even feasible? In today's video, I want to talk about the actual action plan and guidance steps that you are meant to take with the South Node currently in Virgo and what exactly it means to do less so that you can align with your soul's highest self, overcome your soul's lesson, and live in a state of ease. Hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Isabel, your spiritual rebel friend, and today I want to take a quick minute to follow up on a video that I did recently talking about why your hard work isn't working, especially in regards to hearing the same kind of feedback from multiple people online and feeling it myself and hearing it from clientele, which is the South Node is currently transiting Virgo. And I realize my tripod's hanging on by a thin sliver on my table. The South Node is in Virgo, and this is inviting us to not work so hard, to not put so much effort in, to practice more trust, surrender, and faith, and simply do less. And so I was working with a client only, I think, 2 days ago, and she asked me, how do I do less? Like, I know you talked about that on our last call, and I know that's what I need to do, but how do I actually not do anything? Like, I don't understand. And for her, with a Mars in Aries, trying to ask them to do less or do nothing is not feasible. And I think this is the case for many people. Chances are most people who follow my channel, regardless of their Mars sign, and just the kind of people I think I attract to the channel, but a large majority, feel the sense of, okay, I'm gonna trust and surrender. Okay, I'm getting a bit agitated. Like, I need to go do something. Like, so can I do anything? Am I supposed to do nothing? I'm just confused. And like, my bills are stacking up, so I can't actually do nothing. And it is 100% valid that we truly cannot just suddenly do nothing and do less. So what exactly is this supposed to look like in practice? I want to talk about what I shared with my client today and also some deeper wisdom behind the Virgo and Pisces archetypes to really put these pieces together. Because yes, we are meant to do less with the North Node in Pisces and the South Node in Virgo. We're supposed to let go of overworking behaviors that lead to us physically burning ourselves out. But that doesn't mean we're doing nothing, especially because even though Pisces is all about trust, faith, and surrender, yes, these are things that we do need to utilize, but this does not mean that we are without taking action. And so the deeper spiritual reason behind this that I want to explain first is we are moving away from Virgo, which is why we are being called to let go of overworking tendencies, simply put, and we're moving towards Pisces. Now, Pisces, contrary to stereotypes maybe, is not a still, frozen, inactive, lazy sign. Pisces is represented by the fish, which even if the fish is flowing downstream, the fish is in motion. And so with the call to do less and to not work so hard that the South Node in Virgo is bringing, it's to make space for more kinds of aligned action. Think of the fish flowing downstream. It is not doing anything. It's just flowing in the direction that the water naturally wants to take them. And so in the case for my client, who is super ambitious, go-getter, wants to do it all, try it all, and is not afraid to back down from a challenge, or not afraid, well, it doesn't back down from a challenge. That's what I'm looking for. Just, she doesn't back down from a challenge and is willing to be uncomfortable. The idea of just doing less was leaving her in a stalemate of feeling like, okay, I know what this overall goal is of surrender and faith, but it feels like there's a gap and I have my actual reality. So that's not feasible. And so what we discussed with her is the idea of aligned action that the North Node in Pisces is really calling us towards, which is, what does it mean to take action in a way that feels fluid, that feels downstream? I listen a lot to Abraham Hicks, and they talk about finding the best feeling thought in flowing downstream. Follow the path of least resistance, following the path of most allowance. And so while you are meant to, with the South Node in Virgos, just simply put, stop overworking. A lot of this is about not just work less, it's do more of what feels right. And so for my client, we talked about for her how this for her is really about having free space and embracing her natural action style. Now for her Mars is in Aries, and this was actually something that was enabled, that we were encouraging together, that I was encouraging within her. Even though the South Node is saying work less, I'm actually telling her to do more. Do more, though, in alignment with her natural action style. As the Mars in Aries, she wants to be an initiator. And so embracing more initiation is actually what she's called to do with the North Node in Pisces, following the path of least resistance in your action style. So when we're talking about this concept of working less hard, it's really about doing more of what feels easy to you. And so based off of your unique chart, you're gonna find that you have a different action style, and doing something easy means something different to you. So if the idea of stopping working hard and doing less is hard for you, know that this is about just doing more of an alignment. And you're gonna find what that alignment is based off of, for one, your Mars sign. Whether you're male, female, entrepreneur, whatever, your Mars sign is your natural action style, the way you want to move through life. And so I encourage you to look at your Mars sign and ask yourself, do I currently work with this? Do I currently flow with this? Is this currently how I take action? Do I act in alignment with how my Mars wants to act? Or am I acting in stifling ways, and that is why I feel burnt out? That is why I feel overworked. Now, it is possible that we can still use our Mars in excess, but really looking at your Mars and honing in on what your natural action style is can be one of the most liberating things during the North Node transiting Pisces, because you're aligning with your natural action style and giving yourself credit for some of your greatest gifts and talents. After all, Mars is, in our birth chart, some of our greatest gifts and talents. And so in the end, again, in case I haven't accentuated enough, the North Node transiting Pisces is not just fully about doing less, though that is kind of part of the sum total. It's not about necessarily doing less, it's about doing more of what feels right. And the only way you can do more of what feels right is by making up space, and creating free time to actually enable that. So how did this look in even further practical guidance with my client, who, funny enough, she was physically burnt out and sick while we were having this conversation. So she was really ready to work through this. And it was ironic, it would seem, that I was telling her to do more, but it actually gave her permission. And you could see the ease that was brought to her with this concept, which I'm about to tell you, which is, yes, you're moving towards, over this year left period until July of 2026, you're moving towards doing more in alignment and doing less of what doesn't feel good. You're letting go of overworking and burning yourself out. And you're embracing your natural action style and doing what feels like the path of least resistance. But the shift doesn't have to happen overnight. In fact, you have a year to figure this out. And so oftentimes the overwhelm of feeling like, well, there's going to be points where I still have to work hard, I still have to hustle, keeps us from even taking the first step. And so what I encouraged her to do is to look at her time in her day and ask herself, which of these time slots can I create where I'm gonna stay in my old, outdated, work hard mode, where I get close to burning myself out and just feel exhausted? And when can I put in a slot of time, whether that's daily, weekly, hourly, 15 minutes, every 15 minutes, every other hour, to do my natural action style? Because it's not about trying to make the switch black and white from one to the other overnight. It's just trying to slowly incorporate this into your life. And after all, the concept with the North and South Node transiting, and in the chart in general, the common misconception is we're letting go of the South Node traits. So right now, we're letting go and blocking out all Virgo traits, but that's actually not true. We are letting go of what no longer serves us in Virgo traits to make space to greater appreciate and embody the positive traits of the Virgo archetype. And so there is a time and place to be critical. There is a time and place to be detail oriented. There is a time and place to work hard and put a lot of effort in. There's a time and place to be selfless. There's a time and place to be even arguably perfectionist, but in balance with its opposite archetype, Pisces, where you match it with flowing downstream, taking the path of least resistance, surrendered action, and aligned action. Action that comes from an emotionally centered heart space, aligned with your natural Mars action style. So look at your week, and if the idea of completely stopping working and doing less is keeping you stuck, instead think of it as, okay, I'm not trying to fully get rid of this, but time slot it. Identify what hours of your day you're spending in, so to say, this Virgo mode of being, where you're overworking, working too hard, putting in a lot of effort, doing as many tasks as possible, and burning yourself out. And ask yourself, how can I, in my day, my week, in my hours, in each hour, how can I make time to align with my natural action style and flow downstream? And the thing is, I will tell you the piece of advice I also gave her, because I think this will apply to you to some degree too. This is partly about embracing your natural action style based off your Mars. So ask yourself, where do I embrace my Mars in my day, week, month, etc. But also, this is also just about Piscean energy of following intuition, following feelings. And so for my client, one thing that really stood out to her was, I think she said, just the idea of being creative and following impulse, following intuition. It wasn't necessarily, this is not necessarily innately a trait of Mars and Aries, but it is a trait of following your gut and following the flow downstream, which is what Pisces is highlighting. So follow your natural action style to some degree with your Mars placement in your chart, the sign it's in specifically, but also make space for intuition and flow, whether that's 15 minutes, an hour, a day out of your week. I don't know. It depends on what you have available to you, but where you let yourself flow, where you let yourself choose based off of what feels like the path of least resistance in that moment. Now, for you, this could be path of least resistance is I need to lay in the fetal position on the couch. I know I'm a big fan of that one after a long day of being too Virgo, but it could also be doing more. For my client, it's I want to create, I want to build, I want to start something, I want to initiate something, I want to share ideas. And for you, it could be creative. For you, it could be spending time with family. But making that time slot where you're tuning in to your energy, your frequency, your vibration, and choosing what will feel like the path of least resistance. In the end, this video is meant to be your reminder that you're not going to fully let go of your Virgo traits overnight, and you're actually not meant to. You're meant to hold on to the ones, the perfectionism, the criticism, the detail orientation, the practicality, and the hard work that serves you and your highest self. But you are meant to start incorporating as well aligned action. This isn't about doing nothing, it's doing more of what feels right. And sometimes that requires just taking one small step to implement this, even in the smallest time frame. Even if it's only 10 minutes once a week, something is better than nothing. And in the end, with the North Node in Pisces, this is about trust, faith, and unconditional love to oneself, regardless of your performance. And so don't let this turn into a perfectionism of, I have to do this all now. I have to do less and do more aligned action, because that's still based off of Virgo criticism. Take the path of least resistance, surrender, and allow yourself to take aligned action in whatever time frame in your day, week, month, year, hours, minutes that allows. Let me know down in the comments below if this video gave you clarity on what exactly it means to have the South Node currently transiting Virgo and the North Node transiting Pisces. Was this a misconception for you that you felt like you had to do nothing? Was this a relief? Did this put more pressure on you? Let me know your thoughts and feelings down in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel and stay tuned for more videos breaking down the stars and more. Thank you guys so much for watching. I sincerely hope you enjoyed. Once again, my name's Isabel. From my heart to yours, namaste.